Good morning, children. We have been doing direct and indirect speech, as you know, and it is the third lecture today of direct and indirect speech. And today we will be learning how to convert direct speech into indirect speech when the reported speech is an imperative sentence, an interrogative sentence, and when it is an exclamatory sentence. Okay. So this is what we are going to learn today. So let us begin with our class. Okay. So now, what is an imperative sentence? An imperative sentence is that which expresses request, order, command, okay, suggestion, advice, all such kinds of expression. So how do we change it? First of all, when the reporting verb, which is either say or tell, which is used in the direct speech mostly, so that changes according to the sense of the sentence. I mean, the sentence, the imperative sentence, either it expresses a command. So when it is expressing a command, then we change this reporting verb into command. Say changes to command. Okay, when said is written, it is changed to commanded or ordered. When the reported speech is an advice, is a piece of advice, then we change said or told, said into suggested or advised. And when you find that it is a request, then we change said into requested. All right. So this is the overview, and we will dig deeper into it now. See, all such kinds of expression we can find in an imperative sentence. Okay. What all kind of expression? Let us see. First is an advice. Okay, so when you find that the reported speech is an advice, then we, what do we write? We write advised or urged. And also the command, the first one is command. So when you see that the reported speech is a command, then we change it into order or command or bid or tell. All these words we can use as the reporting verb. Okay, when it is a request, then we can use these words in place of the reporting verb, right? And when it is an entreaty, see, entreaty is an earnest request. Okay, it is humble request, so it has more effect than request. So when entreaty you find entreaty in the sentence, then we can use beg, pray, implore, pleaded. Okay, all such kinds of words we can use in place of reporting verb. When the sentence expresses a proposal, then we use suggest or proposed. Okay, and when the sentence expresses prohibition or permission, then for prohibition, that means for preventing somebody from doing something, we use forbid. And for if it is seeking permission, then we can use allow. Okay, if it is giving permission, okay, somebody is giving permission in the reported speech, then we can use allow. So all these this table you can make a note of, because it is not given in your books very clearly. So if you want, rather I would say that you should make a note of all these words, so it becomes handy for you when you transform the sentences. All right, so let us move on now. Let us come over to the conversion. See, when we change an imperative sentence, which is if it is in direct speech and we have to change it into indirect speech, then we replace the verb with its infinitive form. Okay, now what is an infinitive form of verb? When the verb is used with to. For example, to go. Okay, so to go is the infinitive form of verb go, right? So let us come to the example over here. The direct speech is, she said to her, please complete it. Okay, she said to her, please complete it. What is this reported speech expressing? It is expressing a request, because please has been used over here. So how will we change it into indirect? She is what? It is the subject, so she will remain she only. Okay, and then in place of said to, we will be using requested. That is what I told you in the table in the previous slide, that we have to make a note, we have to observe the expression of the reported speech. Okay, since this is a request, so we will be changing said to into requested, and then her will remain her only. Then we will not use please in the indirect speech. Okay, such kind of words like please, or if sorry is written for that matter, then we do not use these words as they are in the indirect speech. And then we omit this word. Then complete is what? It is the verb. So what will be the infinitive form of complete? It will be to complete. Okay, I told you that when we change a verb into its infinitive form, then we add to with it simply, and it changes into its infinitive form. So this is the infinitive form of verb, complete. Okay, so to complete it, it it will come in its own place. So I hope it is clear to you. I hope you will get it. See, in all the assertive sentences, we were using that in place of comma. Okay, here it should be a, there should be a comma. So when we were removing comma, then we were inserting that. But when it comes to an imperative sentence, then we do not use that generally. Okay, I'll tell you where we use that, but mostly we do not use that, because we cannot use that with the infinitive form of verb. This thing you should keep in your mind. All right, so let us move on. Now there comes a word let. Okay, now let can have three different meaning. Let can express three different things. What are they? Let us look. See, when let is used with us, okay, when the word us is followed by let, then that denotes a proposal. What did I say? When let is followed by us, see, let us, so this is denoting a proposal. Okay, so how will we change said to? We will change said to into proposed. So Rohan proposed to us that we should have some coffee. Now here we'll be using that. Why? Because can we find any infinitive form of verb? No. Okay. So when there is no infinitive form of verb, then we can use that very well. So Rohan, the direct speech is Rohan said to us, let us have some coffee. So when we will be changing it into indirect speech, we will be writing it as Rohan proposed to us that we should have some coffee. Okay, we should. In place of to, we insert should. This is the word. Okay, so when this let word, it is denoting proposal, then this is how we change it into indirect speech. We just add, we do not use an infinitive form of verb. We simply use should. This word should will come in indirect speech. Okay, now let us see what else let expresses. See, when let is used to seek permission. Okay, how does let expresses permission? Let us see. Look at the direct speech. Maria said to her mother, let me watch movie this evening. So Maria is seeking permission from her mother, that her mother should allow her to watch movie that evening. So let us see how do we convert it into indirect speech. Maria asked her mother to let her watch movie that evening. See, here Maria is seeking permission. Okay, she is not allowing. She is not giving permission. When the reported speech is expressing that somebody is giving permission, then in place of said to, we would have used allowed. But here Maria herself is seeking permission, so she is asking for permission. Therefore, we used asked. Okay, so Maria will come in place of Maria only because it is the subject, and then said to will get changed into asked, and her mother will remain her mother, and then let will change into to let. Okay, to let her watch movie that evening. All right, so this is how we change a sentence which has let, and if let is having the expression of seeking permission. Now let us move on and see the third form in which let can be used. See, let can be used as a command also. How? Look at this direct speech sentence. The police inspector said, let no one leave this room. So police inspector won't be seeking permission of someone. Okay. He is what? He is ordering. He is commanding that no one should leave the room. So let us see how do we change it into indirect speech. The police inspector ordered, because he's giving the order, that no one should leave the room, that no one should, again will come over here, should leave the room. Okay, so in two ways we change the sentence which has let. When it is seeking permission, then we write to let, and otherwise we write should. All right, is this much clear to everyone? Okay. So now there are some imperative sentences which are in the negative form. How do we change it? Let us look at the example and we will understand. The father said to his son, "Do not go outside without putting on your mask." So the father, this is an order which is in its negative form. Okay, do not. Whenever we encounter a word like no, not, never, then that makes the sentence a negative sentence. So this is an example of negative sentence. So we can transform it into two ways. In two ways. First one is by writing it like this: the father instructed, he's instructing his son not to go outside. Okay, not to go outside without putting on his mask. So this is one way. And another way is the use of this word forbade. Forbade means to prevent someone from doing something. It is the past tense of forbid. So the father forbade the son to go outside without putting on his mask. See, when you are using this word forbade, okay, then with it we do not use not. If you will use not over here, the father forbade the son not to go out, then that will be incorrect. Okay, forbade in itself means that he's not allowing, he's asking him not to go. So forbade means not allowing, not giving the permission. So we do not use a negative word when we are using forbade. So if you are using forbade, then you have to leave out omit this word not, which is given in the direct speech, and you can use and you can write the rest of the sentence. However, if you are not using forbade and if you are following this structuring of sentence, then you can use not, but you will have to be careful enough to use this word instructed, or whatever the sense of the speech is. All right, so these are the two ways in which we can write a negative imperative sentence into its indirect speech. Now Now we come over to exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences, you people know very well, it expresses joy or sorrow. Okay, such feelings are expressed by the exclamatory sentences. In exclamatory sentences, what do? We have to find out the tone or the expression of the exclamation. Okay, if it is being said in a happy mood or in a sorrow mode. Okay, so that we have to find out the mood of the sentence, and accordingly we use these words, um, uh, exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with grief, likewise. Okay, so let us look at the example. She said, "Alas, he is dead." So indirect speech would be, now she's exclaiming something. So she exclaimed. Here said will not come, exclaimed will come. Okay. She exclaimed. How is she exclaiming? She is exclaiming it sorrowfully. So she exclaimed with sorrow. This is used uh, with the reporting speech. She exclaimed with sorrow. Now, what is she exclaiming? That he was dead. See, he is dead. This is present. So, this also you have to keep in mind parallelly. Okay, that you have to change the sentences, the tense of the sentences as well. This is what we are changing, the kind of the sentence. But you should not leave the tense of the sentence. Okay, everything should be there. So that he was dead, right? And what are we doing? We are changing the exclamatory sentence into an assertive sentence. See, it has changed into assertive sentence, right? So you have to observe the mood of the speaker. Now the reporting verb say or tell, in exclamatory sentences, it changes into wish. Okay, if the reported speech is expressing a wish, then, or bless. Okay, these are the words which you can use for transforming an exclamatory sentence into the indirect speech. So again, I would like you all to make a note of these words so that it becomes easy for you when you do your exercises, because again in your books it is not given very nicely. So just I'm giving you few seconds, you can just make a note. Declare, confess, cry out, and along with these words we can use this phrase, with regret. Okay, when somebody is saying anything sorrowfully, then we can write with regret. If somebody is exclaiming happily, then with delight or with joy. And then with sorrow, we have already seen the example of. Okay, so this is how, this is the words which we use in place of said or tell, if it is there in the direct speech. So now let us move ahead and look at the examples. See, this the first example. He said, "God save my son." Now, what do we do when we are when we are saying something to God? We pray. Okay. So, in indirect speech, what will come in place of said? Prayed will come. Okay. He prayed that God might save his son. Okay. Here, may is hidden. May God save my son. So, may, this modal is hidden over there. And we have already learned that may changes to might. So he prayed that God might save his son. Okay. Then look at the second sentence. Anand said, "How wise I am." Now he's taking pride in himself. So what will we write in indirect speech? Anand exclaimed with pride. Okay, Anand exclaimed with pride. This is how you should write, that he was very wise. How? In place of how, we will add very. Okay, so this has been inserted, this new word has been added, so that he was very wise. And I am is in present, so it has changed into past. I am has changed into, am has been changed into was. And this I, it is the first person, it is in first person, so it changes according to the gender of the subject. Anand is in masculine gender, so in place of I, he will come. Now, let us come to rule number 10, that is conversion of interrogative sentences from direct speech to indirect speech. Now, before starting with the conversion, I would like to draw your attention towards the two types of interrogative sentences. One is WH type of questions and another is yes or no type of questions. WH types of question means which have a proper answer, like what is your name, how old are you, okay, where are you going. These are WH types of type of questions. And yes or no type of questions, they generally begin with a helping verb or a modal auxiliary, okay, like will you do this for me, is your mother at home. So we have just to give either a yes or no as its answer. So that is why it is known as a yes or no type of question. So now let us see how do we convert a WH type of question. See, no conjunction is used if a sentence in direct speech with begins with a question like what, where, when, okay, as the question word. So, and it itself acts as the joining clause. It itself acts as the word which joins the sentences. Now let us look at the example and things will get clearer. The question, the sentence in the direct speech is, where do you live, asked the boy. Okay, here this reported speech has come before the subject and the reporting verb, so it doesn't make much of a difference. What do? We start with the subject always. The boy, now he is inquiring something, okay, he is asking. So mostly we use inquired in when for interrogative sentences. So in place of asked, we can use asked also. That will not be incorrect, but you should try and write inquired wherever necessary, not everywhere. So the boy inquired where I lived. We will not use that over here. Okay, no use of that. Why? Because this word which acts as the question word, it itself acts as the joining word. See, where. Okay, so where I live. This is what is meant when I said that we do not use any conjunction like that when we change a question and interrogative sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. Now let us throw some light on the yes and no type of questions also. See here, one thing you should keep in your mind, that when we are transforming a yes and no type of question, then we use if, okay, this if or whether. These two words should come in place. Okay, how? Let us look at the example. The sentence in the direct speech is Mrs. Green at home? Asked the postman. So this is what, a yes or no type of question. Okay, the person whom the postman is asking will either say a yes or a no as the answer. Okay, so is Mrs. Green at home? Now how will we change it? The subject is the postman, so it will come in the beginning. So the postman asked if, in place of is or are or whatever the helping verb has been used over here, we will use if, and we can use whether also. Okay, we can use if and whether interchangeably, so it will not make your sentence or answer wrong if you use whether in place of if, and if you use if in place of whether, right? So the postman asked if Mrs. Green was at home. Now this is denoting that the sentence is in present tense, so is will change into was only. Okay, so we will not begin it with was Mrs. Green at home, because we have to change the interrogative sentence into assertive sentence. So in order to change the interrogative sentence into an assertive sentence or a declarative sentence, we remove this we remove this is from here and we place it at its correct place, that is after the subject or after the noun, and we begin the sentence with if. Okay, so we add an if over here, like we used to add that for declarative or assertive sentence. In yes or no type of sentence, we join the two part of the sentences with if or whether. Okay, so this is the first part of the sentence, which includes or which contain the subject and the reporting verb, and the reported speech is in the second part of the sentence, which has been converted into indirect speech. And the first part of the sentence and the second part of the sentence is joined by the word if or whether in case of yes or no type of questions. Am I clear to everyone? All right. Now, this I have already told you that reporting verbs such as said or said to, in case of interrogative sentence, it changes to inquired, asked, or demanded. Okay. So this you will change according to the requirement of the sentence. So now here we come to the end of the conversion from direct to indirect speech. Okay, this is all which you should know before converting a sentence in the direct speech into indirect speech. So let us once again recall, because it has been a long lectures. Like we have already done 2 lectures before, and this one is the third one. So let us just recall that what all we did. So we learned how to change. So we learned if the reporting verb is in present, then we do not change the tense of the reported speech, and if it is in past, then only we change. Okay. Then the tense of the reported speech, we learned how to convert a present tense, a past tense, okay, or future tense. Okay, all these things we learned, and I hope you remember all the rules. Then we learned how to change the pronouns. The first person changes to what, the second person changes to what, and the third person pronoun changes to what. All these we learned. Then the time expression, like now becomes then, tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day, likewise. Then we learned how to change modals, which modals change, which modals do not change. Like can becomes could, but could does not change into any other word, could remains could only. Then today we learned about the imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and interrogative sentences. So there is a lot of there's a lot of rules which you will have to remember, and you don't have to memorize any of the things. What is required is just the practice, and the more you practice, the more smoothly you will be able to do the questions of direct and indirect speech. If you will try to learn the rules, then it will not work, because in grammar, see, there are only 2 subjects, grammar and chemistry, which are based more on exception than on rules. Okay, so learning the structure and rules will not help. You should practice, and practice a lot. So if you have any question, you can tell me. Otherwise, we will start with the question. So I think everybody has understood everything. So let us start the practice. So I hope everyone, or each one of you, is sitting with your copy and pencil, because you will be required to write the answers. This is the first set of 5 questions. So take 45 seconds and start writing the answers in your notebooks. So Shubh was the first one to raise the hand. So Shubh will get the chance to answer. Yes, Shubh, tell us the answer for the first one.
The boy asked me how old I was.
The boy asked me how old I was. Perfect. Very good. So rest of you, if your answer is correct, then it's fine. And if not, then you can make the changes. The answer will be, the boy asked me how old I was. Okay. Next, call the accused, said the judge. Arpit. Yes, Arpit. Arpit, I can't hear you. Okay, Divyanshi, give the answer.
It will be the second one.
The second one.
The judge ordered to call the accused.
The judge ordered to call the accused is also correct, and the judge ordered them to call the accused is also correct. Good. Next, Yashi will answer. He said to them, "Let us set out on our journey before the dawn." Yes, Yashi.
And the answer for this will be he said to us that he said to us that let us go set out on before the dawn.
Anyone who disagrees with her answer? Yes, Divyanshi, what is your answer?
Mommy asked them to set out on their journey before the dawn.
Don't you all remember the rule? There were in 3 ways we could.
Can I speak again?
Yes, sure. Divyanshi, mute yourself.
He proposed to us that we should set out on before the dawn.
Why are you using us? He said to them is already been stated over here. So he proposed to them only, na? He proposed to them that they should set on their journey before the dawn. Alright, because us has been used with let. So whenever let us is used in the reported speech, that means it is a proposal. Okay, so he proposed to them that they should set out on their journey before the dawn. So this will be the answer. Everyone should write the correct answer now. Okay, the next one, Khushi. He said to his son, "Do not go out to play in the sun."
He forbade his son to not to go out to play in the garden. To play in the sun.
He forbade will be the correct word. Okay, he forbade his son. Then
To not to go out to play in the sun.
see, this is what I told you, and I laid emphasis on that when you are using forbade, then it itself means that he is not allowing his son. Okay, not allowing. So there is no use of writing not again. If you replace forbade with not allowed, so how will the sentence come according to you? He did not allow his son to not to go out. This will be wrong, right? So when you are using forbade, then you have to drop out the word not. So he forbade his son to go out to play in the sun. Okay, you will not use not.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Next, fifth one, Arman said, "Hurrah, my friend has succeeded." Sanvi.
And the answer is Arman exclaimed with joy that my friend has succeeded. That his friend has succeeded.
Yes, because the pronoun it changes according to the gender of the subject. So Arman exclaimed with joy, or Arman exclaimed with delight that his friend had succeeded. Okay, has will change into had. Okay, good. Now I'll display the next set of 5 questions. So get back to work, everyone. Start writing the answers. Yes, Saksham, give the answer to the 6th one.
Sonu said that to us where we are playing football.
Anybody who would like to say something on his answer? Okay, well tried, Saksham. Yes, Shubh. What should be the correct answer according to you?
Sonu asked us whether we were playing football.
Very good. See, Sonu asked us, okay, because it is a question, so you can use asked. us. Now it is what kind of question? A yes or no type of question. So what do? We add either an if or whether. So he has used whether very correctly. So Sonu asked us whether we were playing football. We were playing football. Why are we using are? Why are we not using are and we are using were? Because we also change the tense of the sentence. Very good, Shubh. Okay. The next will be answered by Tanishka. 7th one. He said it is raining now.
He said that it was raining then.
Correct. He said that it was raining then. This was an easy one. Okay. Next, Jack said, "Oh no, I have lost my passport." Priyanshi was supposed to answer. Where has she gone? Priyanshi Pandey, let us hear what you have written.
Jack said that, oh no, he have lost his passport.
Think again. Will you use oh no? Because you have to change it into assertive or declarative. And does declarative sentence have such exclamatory words?
Jack said that he had lost his passport.
But this is an exclamatory sentence. How do we know that this is an exclamatory sentence? What will come?
Ma'am, because
No. What will come in place of said?
said Jack told.
Jack exclaimed because it is an exclamatory sentence. Okay. So Jack exclaimed. Now, will he be happy or sad on losing his
I'm
passport?
sad.
Sad. So Jack exclaimed with grief or with sorrow that no sorrow will not come over here, but with grief. Okay. Jack exclaimed with grief that he had lost his passport. All right. Well tried.
Yes.
Now next, my mother said, "What have you done?" Who was supposed to answer? What names did I take? I forgot. Manjari, give the answer. Manjari Rastogi. Yes, Manjari, give the answer if you are raising the hand. The 9th one. My mother said, "What have you done?"
Why is Vartul not answering?
Okay, now mute yourself, Manjari. Vartul, give the answer.
Then my mother asked me that what had I done.
No, this is an exclamatory sentence. See this exclamation mark.
My mother explained with anger that what had I done.
Yes, good. My mother exclaimed with anger, or my mother exclaimed angrily that what I had done. What I had done. Okay. Next, Rabab said to me, "Where are you going?" Sanvi.
Abhi.
Yes, Sanvi.
Rabab asked me where I was going.
Rabab asked me where I was going, or Rabab inquired of me. Okay. So you can use inquired also in place of asked. So Rabab asked me where I was going. Correct. Now the last set of 5 sentences.
Can we write where was I going?
No, because see, you have to change it into assertive sentence or a declarative sentence. And in declarative sentence, the helping verb comes after the noun. Okay, so where noun or pronoun. So where I was going is a declarative sentence. And if you will write where was I going, then again it will be an interrogative sentence. So we will be shifting the place of helping verb in case of interrogative sentences. Is that clear, Yashi?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good that you came up with that question. That means you are paying attention. Okay, so try out these 5 questions. Hurry up. Only 20 seconds. Not more than that. This time, Janvi should answer, Arpit should answer, and Ananya, Mittal, Manjari. Okay, so let us begin with the answers. Now 11th. Yes, Manjari? Manjari, is there some problem with your audio or what? Yes, Arpit, give the answer.
Ima told that she had a headache.
Come again, I couldn't hear you.
Ima
Say
said
Hmm.
that Ima told that I had a headache yesterday.
Okay, Yashi, will you give it a try? Yes, Yashi?
Ma'am, can I rejoin?
Why?
Ma'am, my network is very slow and it's going.
We are about to end the meeting. So, if you
It's
can
okay,
give the answer.
Yashi. Give the answer.
Give the answer.
Ma'am, for which question?
11th.
Emma said that she had a headache yesterday.
Now see, look, this sentence is in simple past. So what will be the correct answer? Emma said that she had a headache the previous day. Okay. Here had has been used as the main verb and not as a helping verb. So Emma said that she had a headache the previous day. Next, Ananya, give the answer. 12th one. Yes, Ananya.
And the doctor told to the patient that he should drink plenty of water daily.
See, in place of said to, you should write advised, okay? Because
Told.
doctors, they advise the patient. So the doctor advised the patient to drink plenty of water daily, or the doctor advised the patient that he should drink plenty of water daily. Both can be correct, but in place of said to, you will have to write advised, okay? So the next, Manu said, what a crowded place is this? Yes, Divyanshi.
Manu explained that such a crowded place it was.
Manu exclaimed that that was a very crowded place, because here what has been used. So when we remove what or when we remove how, we add very. All right. Next, Alex said to his mother, let me go out with my friends this evening. Yes, Shubh?
Alex asked his mother to let him go out with his friends that evening.
Very good. Perfect answer. Alex asked his mother to let him go out with his friends that evening. Now, the last one, Alice will say, I cannot wait any longer. Khushi? Yes, Khushi?
Alice will say that he cannot wait any longer.
Yes, because will say is the reporting verb. So when the reporting verb is in present or future, then we do not change the reported speech. So the answer will be Alice will say that she cannot wait any longer. So we come to the end of the session now. Tomorrow we will be doing the conversion of indirect speech into direct speech. So just go through the rules again and try to do the exercises, because the more you practice, the better you will become in doing this. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, teachers.